Coming up on ATV News.
Be smart out there. Don't drive too fast for conditions.
Local mechanics show you how to get your car ready for winter.
We'll tell you why some big birds were on campus this week.
We'll show you a low-cost way to keep your pets safe.
There's lots of people on the quad today. I'll tell you if they'll be cleared out by this weekend in weather.
We may have had a bye week in football this last week, but that doesn't mean it was a dull week in sports. I'll catch you up on what you missed.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
That was Trooper Ruben Carrera saving a man from being hit by a Frontrunner.
According to Utah Highway Patrol, Trooper Correa pulled an unconscious driver from his vehicle just seconds before it was struck by a train.
It is unknown as to why his vehicle was on the tracks. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Austin Elder.
And I'm Ayana Likens. A woman who was reported missing last week was found dead in San Jose. Erin Valenti was found in her car on Saturday. San Jose police say she was reported missing Monday, and they were treating her disappearance as a voluntary missing persons case. Police say they are still investigating the cause of her death.
Utah had its first death linked to vaping, totaling 27 deaths in the country. Emily Hill joins us from the newsroom to explain what's going on. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Austin. Last week, the Utah Department of Health says they don't know enough about the illnesses or death to say what happened specifically. They say there are 83 injuries logged due to vaping and 11 more under investigation in Utah. This marks the first THC-related death in our state. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention reported 27 deaths and almost 1,300 injuries nationally, all people who used vaping products. Both the CDC and the Utah Department of Health say to stop vaping, especially if you are purchasing these products through non-licensed sellers. Live in the newsroom, Emily Hill. Back to you, Austin.
Thanks, Emily.
The Cache County Sheriff's Department is asking for your help finding an escaped inmate. Derek Parkinson is wanted for escaping the Cache County Jail's work release program. Parkinson is 5'9" and 160 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. The Cache County Sheriff's Department says if you see him, to call 911.
Taco Bell recalled nearly 2.3 million pounds of seasoned beef from 21 states. The company got a complaint on Friday about the food, saying a customer found a metal shaving in it. Taco Bell said by Tuesday, 100% of the product had been removed from their restaurants. They say their customers' health and safety is most important and say that's why they acted so quickly.
California has become the first state to ban fur products by passing Bill AB 44. The law makes it illegal to sell, donate, or manufacture new fur products, including clothing, handbags, and shoes. It allows people to sell and trade used fur products they had before the law takes effect. Anyone found in violation of the new law could be fined up to $500 for a first offense. The law takes effect in 2023. And in a separate action, the state banned sales of animal skins like dolphin, whale, jaguar, and hippopotamus.
The 2020 vice presidential debate will be held at the University of Utah. Governor Gary Herbert says this is the first time a presidential debate will be held in Utah.
If you've tried to park on campus lately, you probably noticed the construction going on near the Kane Performance Hall. Construction crews tore up the parking lot that used to be here Thursday night to make way for a new parking garage. The new garage is expected to have between 500 and 600 parking spaces. Students in the meantime will have to deal with fewer parking spaces on campus.
The fact that this parking lot is gone means that the one behind me is even more full, which makes it kind of more congested all over campus.
USU officials say the new garage is meant to accommodate growth on Logan campus.
The Center of Disease Control and Prevention says there are 3 main ways to avoid getting the flu. Get yourself and your family vaccinated. Everyone over 6 months old should receive the vaccine. Stop spreading germs by washing your hands frequently. Avoid close contact with people who are sick, and cover your coughs and sneezes. Ask your doctor for antivirals if you have symptoms of the flu to lessen those symptoms. To find out where you can get the vaccine in the Valley, you can visit our Facebook page.
Well, with the cold weather just around the corner, we probably need to get a flu shot.
Yeah, you might need to. You know, it's warm today, but we've got a cold front coming through this weekend. I'll have it in your weather. I'll let you know what's going on. The current temperature in Logan is 71 degrees.
The long-term goal is to just make everything accessible for those with disabilities.
Coming up, find out how Utah State is making using their websites as easy as crossing the street.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back here to ATV. I've got your weather here. Clear skies here today in Utah, as you can see. Not a lot going around Wyoming and Montana, Idaho, but up here in the northeast, we've got a lot of storms around that Portland, Seattle area, a bit off the coast there as well. It's hard to see on this map, but then down here in California as well, we're getting a little bit of rain showers in the central California area, which is kind of helping out with their fires, but it may return to critical fire conditions next week after some of these small storms pass through. And then looking over here on the eastern side, you can see down in Texas, Louisiana area, this Gulf Coast area getting hit pretty hard with some rain right now. Not a lot going on here in the Midwest. We've got a little bit of light showers, but mostly coming through this Gulf Coast area. There's going to be a cold pressure zone coming through there this weekend into next week that's going to bring a lot of rain and some thunderstorms, and possibly might turn into a subtropical storm. So the National Hurricane Center says there's a medium chance that that could turn into a tropical depression. So watch out for that. And then coming up into the East Coast over here, you can see New York, this area, Pennsylvania, right here on the East Coast, getting hit pretty hard with some rain. That storm is all going to travel, keep going up northwards in through tonight and tomorrow. So they're going to be getting hit pretty hard. Let's take a look at our state radar now. You can see here in Utah, pretty clear skies, just a little bit coming through this Salt Lake area. It's been a pretty warm day. We've had a high pressure zone, so we've got that warm, but a cold pressure coming in later this weekend. But right now in Utah, it's a little bit of a fire hazard because of that high pressure zone, and we've got a lot of winds coming through on this western part of the state, upwards of 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts over here on the western part of the state. And let's take a look at our 7-day forecast now. You can see today, high of 71, low of 48. It's been a really nice day today, so if you haven't been outside yet, you should go get outside and take a look. Normal highs today are just 63 degrees, so we're a bit higher, but not quite the all-time high of 79, right in the middle of that. Tomorrow is going to be pretty nice in the morning, high of 67 during the day, But getting in later that night, we're going to have a pretty windy day, gusts of upwards of 15 to 20 miles an hour in the afternoon, and then a 50% chance of rain tomorrow night. So it's going to be pretty rainy. And then Friday, a little bit lower temperature. No rain though, thankfully. 51-degree high. But Saturday, coming in through this weekend, you've got 70% chance of rain on Friday, and there's a pretty good chance that we're going to be seeing some snow early Saturday morning as well. And that temperature just drops off going into this weekend. Sunday 43, 47 on Monday, but coming back up on Tuesday, which is good. But that storm comes through Saturday and we'll be going all the way through Monday. But next week, hopefully it'll clear up so we can get some good weather for Halloween. Don't want to be trick-or-treating in the snow. Back to you, Austin.
Thanks, Adam. It's been 44 years since the Vietnam War. However, the quad was thundering with the sounds of the sounds from that time. Two Air Force Huey helicopters landed on the quad Monday to make some noise for the Air Force ROTC. Several dozen people were on hand to witness the old warbirds and talk with the pilots, one of whom graduated from Utah State's ROTC program and says he loves flying the older airframe.
They're great machines. They're old Vietnam era helicopters, and they are a lot of fun, kind of a little sports car. I think everybody loves to hear the sound of the helicopter.
Everyone was invited to get inside, take pictures, and talk with the pilots. As a thank you, the university gave the pilots and crew Aggie ice cream before they took off. The quick stop on the quad was part of a planned flight from their home base in Montana to Utah Testing and Training Range west of Salt Lake.
What have you done to prepare your car for winter? Kendall Douglas joins us outside the Ag Science building to show us how to prepare our cars for winter. Hi, Kendall.
Hey, Ariana. You know, sometimes in life you have a lot going on, and you forget to check on the little things, like checking your car.
The main tips were checking your fluids.
Make sure
Right now,
antifreeze is good.
I'm checking.
It gets down to those negative temperatures.
Mechanics told me to
You don't
go
want to
over.
have to worry about any freeze.
Mechanics at the USU Motor Pool have some tips on how to better prepare your car for winter. The main tips were checking your fluids.
Make sure antifreeze is good. It gets down to those negative temperatures. You don't want to have to worry about any freezing that might happen in your engine block. That would cause major engine problems. Make sure your washer fluid's good. If it's not rated to go down to like -20, you better get that changed out because that will freeze up and crack your reservoir.
And checking your tires.
You want to make sure you got plenty of tread. Like even if you're within to where it's about time to throw them away, you want to make sure you still got plenty of tread to help with that winter traction.
Utah's new law makes two-wheel drive vehicles need either snow tires or chains on during winter.
If you're wondering whether or not your tires will pass with the new weather restrictions during the winter, all you have to do is look at this symbol on the sidewall, the triple peaks with the snowflake.
And if you're thinking about waiting until it snows to prepare your car,
just do it. Like if you live in a place like Logan, it's not worth it to hold off on those things. I just get it done. You save more time in the long run.
Be smart out there. Don't drive too fast for conditions.
Mechanics also say, if you're not sure how to check your fluids or your tires, all you have to do is go to any repair shop. Live from my car, Kendall Douglas, ATV News. Back to you, Ariana.
Thanks, Kendall.
After several delays, the Bridger Bike Park hosts its grand opening tonight at 6. The park will be open to the public and all skill levels are welcome to ride around the track. The bike park staff encourages riders to know their limits, but to have fun and be safe. The track was set to open last week, but was delayed due to weather. The staff also urges riders to remember to never ride on the track when it's wet, to not leave ruts in the track.
The recent frost is rotting local fruit. USU's gleaning team is picking apples before they go bad. The apples, that is. The gleaning team works throughout Cache Valley to pick fruit and vegetables that would otherwise go bad. USU students volunteer on weekends. They give 1/3 of the produce they pick back to the owner and 2/3 to local charities. Some students join the gleaners to get required volunteer course hours, and others do it just to help the community.
I kind of got thrown into this realm of sustainability, and initially working with the student organic farm and then having my own garden. It's absolutely a passion. I can't think of much more important work.
The gleaning team has 2 more picking events this year. You can find more information on our Facebook page.
Have you ever tried to navigate the web with your eyes closed? Millions of visually impaired people face this challenge in their daily life. McKay Jensen shows us how USU is making it easier for everyone to access websites.
Walk sign is on to cross. 16.
Sidewalk bumps for the visually impaired, door openers, parking spaces, and ramps are all to make campus more accessible. How is Utah State making the digital side of the university more accessible?
There's a committee that meets regularly. We have established a web accessibility or an accessibility policy. Another thing that we're doing is making services and tools available to help people who are creating content make it accessible.
You can navigate a web page by listening to a digital voiceover describing what is being displayed.
Link. Browse degrees.
Philip says minor additional details help make websites accessible.
One of the many tools that the university has to improve accessibility is right here when you're editing a web page for the university. If you do not put a description text for your image, it'll outline your image in red, saying that you have some accessibility issues.
WebAIM, an accessibility organization based on campus, holds seminars to train college web developers how to improve accessibility on their sites.
The long-term goal is to just make everything accessible for those with disabilities. And for the most part, a lot of them are. A lot of the pages are accessible for people with disabilities, but enhancing that experience and making sure that they're having just as good of experience as anyone else visiting the site.
Utah State has a video captioning service to add subtitles to videos, like the captions you are seeing now. McKay Jensen, ATV News.
For more information about accessibility, visit our Facebook page.
Well, I think that's really cool that USU is providing those resources to those who need it.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing they're doing.
It is.
And Nick, you joined us this week for sports.
I do. Coming up, USU held their hockey home opener this week. I'll show you what happened on the ice.
And later, we'll show you how young witches and wizards help raise money for a local charity.
What we want to do is not only just have fun for all the people in the community, but also give back to the community.
Kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock. What if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Johnny Stott was born with muscular atrophy, which left muscles paralyzed throughout his body, and says his struggles have been his legs. Stott started the game Friday night with this successful pass, and then receiving praise from his teammates, as well as the other team.
It was so fun. It was the best experience.
It's a dream come true for a son that we never thought would have this miracle.
After spending years on the sidelines as the team manager, Green Canyon's coach told Stott that he would start the game for seniors night. How about we check out some of the highlights from that overtime thriller? Green Canyon got an interception here from Carter Compton, the only one of the game for either team. That would set up a 32-yard run by Jacob London for the first score of the game. London had 167 yards rushing in this game and 4 total touchdowns. Logan would answer with a 46-yard run from Cade Thornley, who finished this game with 172 yards, rushing 4 touchdowns of his own. Ethan Wilson threw this bomb to Isaac Larson for a 70-yard touchdown pass, but Green Canyon came out on top after converting a 2-point conversion in overtime for the 36-35 victory over the Grizzlies. USU football had a bye week this last week, but USU's hockey team had its first home game against University of Providence. The game started off quick with some good back and forth action. It was only 5 minutes in before USU's Shea Bryant scored against Providence, putting the Aggies in an early lead. Didn't last long though. After penalties on both sides, the Argonauts tied the game while on the power play. The Aggies were able to hold off the Argos with some good saves by goaltender Coulter Pritchard, but ultimately couldn't stop this goal 13 seconds before the end of the first period. The second period started off with a lot of shot attempts from both sides. The Aggies took advantage of an opening with Sean Johnson tying the game up 2-2 and a small tussle here at the end of the second period. USU's Sean Johnston makes it past the Argos goaltender in the third period and scores another, putting the Aggies in the lead. USU's defense unfortunately couldn't hold for the rest of the game as the Argos score with less than 5 minutes left, and then score again just 90 seconds later, sealing the fate for an Aggie loss with a final score of 4-3. Head coach Todd Renee says it was a great game and a battle.
Both teams laid it out on the line, but at the end of the game, I mean, one team wanted it more than us, unfortunately, and we didn't get the reward that we fought for most of the game. But
the Aggies are preparing for their next game in Provo against BYU. Utah State held its annual Aggie Madness, and ATV's Adam Larson was there to show you who to watch in an Aggie uniform this season.
Dunks and threes were about the only thing shot at Aggie Madness. The Aggie men's and women's basketball teams squared off in inter-squad scrimmages and shooting contests in fans' first opportunity to see both teams. Diogo Brito won one of the shootouts, teaming up with a fan, and Lindsey Jensen Baker beat Brock Miller in the three-point contest. Women's head coach Jerry Finkbeiner says the event was much bigger than last year's.
We may have to go to the Spectrum next year, as the center may not be able to hold it next year.
The Estes was standing room only after the stands filled up 15 minutes before the event was scheduled to start. Men's head coach Craig Smith says the night is something the team really looks forward to.
You can always count on one of our worst practices of the year to be this afternoon of the late show, because they're just like little kids, you know, getting ready for a big event.
Finkbeiner says the highlight of the night is always the men's team dunk contest.
I know there's a lot more guys on the bench could dunk too. They showed 4 off tonight, but there's probably about 14 of those guys could throw it down, so it was a lot of fun to wait the end of the night too.
Here in the Spectrum, I'm standing on a stool to get to the height of the guys competing in the dunk contest, all of them about 6'8" or taller. But when I step off the stool, I'm more the height of a normal man. 5'10" is the average height of a man in America, which is why you probably can't dunk as well at home as these guys can in the dunk contest. Last year's dunk contest winner came out in style, singing "I Believe I Can Fly" before his first dunk. Other dunkers include Liam McChesney, Kuba Karwowski, and Sean Bairstow. Karwowski and Bairstow would both advance to the final. Bairstow would eventually win the dunk contest by fan vote with this dunk. Smith said he didn't have any dunks scare him like last year when Nehemias Keita jumped over 7 fans to dunk the ball.
Nemi and Bean both scared the living snot out of me last year.
Adam Larson, ATV News.
The men's team was unanimously voted to win the Mountain West season this season by media members at Mountain West Media Day yesterday. Their first home game is on October 30th against the College of Idaho, and the first women's home game is on November 2nd against Arizona. Utah State soccer had 2 home matches over the weekend. The Aggies took on New Mexico first and honored Dominic Weglin, a boy battling leukemia, before the game as the 12th starter. New Mexico would strike first in the game with a goal here from Gwen Maley. Utah State answered with Cammie Warner's goal in the 18th minute, but Maley would boot in another goal on a free kick to win the game for the Lobos 2-1. The Aggies took on San Diego State next in a game with only 6 shots in the first half between the two teams. Lara Fuentes headed this one in the 67th minute to give the Aztecs a 1-0 lead. Utah State had an 11-second half shot but couldn't score in the game, and San Diego State came away with the win 1-0. Utah State falls to 1-4-1 in conference play after the pair of losses and takes on Colorado State and Wyoming on the road this week. Utah State volleyball hit the road over the weekend, taking on UNLV and New Mexico. The Aggies played UNLV first and had a solid game, blocking finishing with 7 as a team, including this one from Izzy Belknap. Autumn Spafford led the team in blocks with 4, while Belknap led the Aggies in kills with 7. Utah State struggled against the Rebels, only getting 18 kills compared to the Rebels, 48 in the match and falling 3-0. Utah State took on New Mexico next and fared better in this match. The Aggies again blocked well, finishing with 18 in this match, with Corinne Larson getting that one. Larson, Spafford, and Bailey Downing each had 9 blocks to lead the Aggies. Haley's Cuff's kill here paced Utah State as she led them with 18 kills and helped the Aggies to win 3-2 over the Lobos. Utah State takes on Wyoming and number 14 Colorado State at home this weekend. Now you're all caught up on sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Nick. In magic, crafts, and art, ATV's Caden Anderson shows you how the three came together to help a local charity.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Wizards and Witches is the mystery.
A magic show entertained the wizards and witches gathered at the Riverwoods Conference Center. So did face painting, wand making, and a bouncy castle.
We've got sorting cupcakes, so you don't know what house you're going to be in until you eat your cupcake.
Here at the Magic Market, you could buy Harry Potter-themed things such as butterbeer, and some of those proceeds go to CAPSA.
Every ticket that we're selling at the Magical Market, $1 goes to CAPSA, because what we want to do is not only just have fun for all the people in the community, but also give back to the community, bring awareness for whatever charity we've decided to, sponsor.
Fundraising like that is actually crucial because that type of money allows us to do what we want with the programs.
The Riverwoods event director says the turnout was more than they expected, raising more money for CAPSA.
The event was great. There was a lot of kids. They had a lot of cute vendors. Everybody was having a good time.
Caden Anderson, ATV News.
The next CAPSA fundraiser starts in December. They will wrap your Christmas gifts for you at the Cache Valley Mall.
Have you ever lost a pet? The Logan City Police Department and Bridgerland Technical College teamed up to provide a low-cost way for you to be able to recover a lost pet.
Well, it startled her, I think.
Dogs of all sizes arrived at BTC's West Campus to receive identifying microchips last Friday. Students in the veterinary program were gaining hands-on experience while providing a community service. Pet owners could pay $10 at the door or pre-register online for $8, and were taken at first-come, first-served basis until 7 o'clock.
It's my son's dog, and he heard it on the radio and thought we ought to have a chip put in her. He just got off work, so I brought her down to make sure we weren't late.
Pet owners were happy, and they had it cheap, easy option for chipping their pets, and the dogs seemed to enjoy the treats and all the attention. If you missed the event, the next dog clinic is October 26th. The one for cats is on November 16th. You can also bring your pet on a leash or in a crate to the Logan City Police Station along with proof of vaccinations, and they will chip them there.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News, and catch all the latest editions of ATV News on our Facebook page.
We'll leave you with some shots of helicopters on the quad.